Alright, had to manage my storage space. I'm done talking about Brexit, by the way. I'll address anything in the comment section of those videos. I don't really need to state my opinion any further on the matter. I made one video. That's it. That's all I need. And the update video, of course, discussing what happened afterwards. But right now I'm going to talk about something that just occurred. I have an interesting story. I have my buddy texted me today. He's getting mad at this mutual friend. He calls him Junior. I'm not gonna give his actual name out, but basically, oh, geez, I'm trying to find this text. So according to Junior and some random dumbass on his Facebook, I'm sexist because I think it's wrong for a man to hit a woman. Also, apparently, according to them, their words, the NHL is sexist for not letting women play in it. So I believe that, like, sometimes he'll say things out of context, right? Or sometimes he'll say things that just weren't actually said. But when he says this happened, probably verbatim, this is their words, not mine. I believe him because I know this person. I know the way he talks. He's kind of a fucking idiot. But the argument is, I guess it starts because some thread was talking about how it's okay to hit a woman in a sport, right? And they were talking about karate specifically. And I'm sorry, but men and women should have different classes. There's an obvious difference in strength and how much you can take, and there's just physical differences between men and women. And this friend understands that, and I don't know. I mean, the other guy's argument is that it's sexist not to hit women, but of course, as a species, we're inclined not to hit women because they're the ones used to carry the offspring, right? Why would you do that? Why would you abuse? Well, first of all, why would you hit anyone? But in a sport, his way of thinking is because the NHL thing came up, right? Some hockey. His argument was, yeah, 250-pound guy up against a woman. What's gonna happen? Why do I think it's wrong to put a woman in hockey? Because she's gonna get fucking destroyed. And that's the way he was kind of thinking in his head. And I'm like, well, I kind of just like, look, you're in the right. They obviously have this extreme left wing mentality going on, and in my opinion, yeah, I mean, you shouldn't ever hit a woman unless, I mean, you need an extreme circumstance, right? Where your life is literally in danger, or you have to get out, or something's gonna happen. There's got to be some actual legal circumstance where it would be viable to do so in defense of someone. Okay, either yourself or someone else. And I'm not a feminist for that very reason, because under feminist logic, you should be able to hit a woman because men and women are equal in every possible way. But I don't believe they are. I'm sorry. It's the way it is. Uh, Women can give birth, men can't give birth, and men have anywhere from 40 to 80% more more muscle mass than a woman does. Naturally, on average, without working out. That's just the way it is. Men are physically larger. Our muscles are physically bigger. Interestingly enough, women actually are able to build muscle at a faster rate, but the ceiling for muscle building, where they hit a plateau, is they reach it a lot quicker. But they do build muscle faster, but they reach the plateau quicker too. Just something interesting to throw in there. But yeah, that's his whole argument. He was getting pissed off. He's like, "Oh fuck, I'm gonna take this guy off Facebook too because he's being a fucking idiot." I'm like, dude, this is why I took him off, because every time I post something or I talk about something or something that doesn't involve anything, he comes in there, acts like a cunt, and then leaves. And I have to delete his comment because it's gonna start shit with other people on my Facebook. So I take out the comment, and I finally took him off about a week ago because he was just an irritant. He's just starting shit with people that I know, and I really don't need him on there. People were like, "Why do you have this idiot on there?" He's just starting shit with people, so I taken off, and I talked to him about it, but he just seems apprehensive about doing it. And now the same buddy's like, "Look, he's just a really big fucking retard. He doesn't understand. There's a big difference between the two." And when he brought up, well, I mean, the NHL should have women in it too, right? Because you should be able to hit a woman in the NHL. And they're like, yeah, it's sexist that the NHL doesn't have women in them. I'm like, well, no. There's a very logical reason why we have men and women's sports, right? And yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, but I don't think people would want to watch that, you know? I really don't. If the money was there, I think people would, because I mean the money's obviously there for UFC. You know, women fighting in UFC, but you don't want women fighting men in the UFC. It's gonna be a fucking bloodbath, okay? It just is, and I have a problem with trans people going into certain classes there. I think it's just because if you get a male transitioning to female, dude, I don't care how much therapy you've had, you're gonna have some sort of advantage, whether it's significant or not. And if you've got too much testosterone in your system and you just clock them out for lunch, it's a problem. And this is just talking about how, situations where it's viable to hit a woman or it's not, and there aren't many where it is. I'll be honest with you. It has to be a situation where you're back against the wall, and it has nothing to do with sports. That's a controlled environment. You don't have to have women and men in the same sports category, and it's honestly it's an unfair advantage. If you want me to be frank, it is a completely unfair advantage to have men and women in the same sport. Okay, men have more physical strength. Now, in a running event, still, they're I'm going to be honest with you, probably disadvantage because more muscle mass means you can push harder off the ground, which means you move faster. Still an advantage. There's no real sport out there, I don't think, where men would have some kind of biological advantage where it would be unfair to put the two against each other. And the thing is, even if you said, well, they're going to compete with the biological advantage and they're going to prove that they can do it, well, here's the thing. In the 98%, I'm assuming, times that the men actually come out on top, the women are always going to say, well, they were still genetically superior. So don't, because it's just going to cause a bigger issue. Just keep it separate in the sports. And there's no real viability in any sport to put a woman and a man in the same place. It's just something I want to talk about. Something to take off from the fucking Brexit thing I was talking about. And these are all just my opinions. And I hope people understand that these are my opinions. And you don't have to get butthurt over my opinions on the matter. But men and women should have separate sports. My opinion. And trans people should, in my opinion, they should go in the sport where they were originally supposed to be in, right? If you had a penis, you should be in the sport where there were penises. It's the way it is. There's always going to be that biological advantage. And by the way, even if you go through therapy, your body will eventually reject it, and it will cause health complications. And you'll have to take more and more and more and more and more, and it will cause so many complications that you'll fucking die. The amount of testosterone a woman would have to take to fully become a man is ridiculous. You would drop dead. And same for a man with estrogen. We are physically not capable of taking in that much of that specific hormone. Men can't take in as much estrogen as a woman actually has in her body, and a woman cannot take as much testosterone as a man has in her body. And if you don't believe me, look at the rates of steroid use. Look at how much, look at how much test a woman has to take to get the same effect a man does out of testosterone in a steroid working out. It's ridiculous. If a woman were to take that much, the same amount of test a man does, she would drop dead, and there are cases where she has dropped dead. So that's my opinion on the matter. These are my thoughts, and this has been Green Valor. Subscribe if you like the content, like or dislike the video, your opinion, and I do want to hear your comments and suggestions about this issue. But once again, understand this is my opinion, and you're entitled to give yours, and I'll hear you out. And if it's just your opinion, I don't really have anything against that. It's your opinion. It's how you feel in the matter. It's probably gonna influence me and make me think a bit about it. But if you're just gonna be like, no, you're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. I'm not gonna fucking listen to you. I'm sorry. That's not an opinion. That's not. Well, maybe it is. It's an opinion that I'm wrong. But it's not your own individual opinion. You don't have an actual thought you're saying out there. You don't have an actual idea. You're just saying you're wrong. You're wrong because circular logic. I'm just frustrated with these people. I'm sorry. Just very frustrated with people who these one word responses. You're racist. You're sexist. You're wrong. Man, I hate it. I'm sick of it. But that's the video, and you guys have a good day.